Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Welcome to day 11. Now, day 10, of course, we did some sprints and some hill sprints if you've got a hill around you. So you're probably going to be a little bit tight and a little bit tired. So today is simply going to be a nice, easy recovery day. Okay, so in this recovery day, we're going to be going through 3 exercises and we'll go through 3 sets. Feel free to go through more, but I'll just throw you 3 sets and you can continue as you please. So exercise number 1 is going to be a PSOAS stretch. Okay, hip flexor and PSOAS stretch. Exercise number 2 is going to be a squat. Okay, just sitting in a squat. And exercise number 3 is going to be hanging. Okay, so nice and simple. In terms of time in each position, the PSOAS stretch will do about 10 breaths each side. The squat will do about 60 seconds. The hang will do about 60 seconds as well. Okay. So to begin with, guys, if you need to modify the squat, obviously you can use something to lift the heels up. So a couple of plates, very small, thinner the better, or a couple of books or something. Obviously you can prop it up more if you need to, if your ankles are real tight, but try and obviously work to the point where, you know, it's challenging. Okay, you want to be developing that ankle mobility so you can sit in a squat without anything eventually. And also what I like to do sometimes with the squat, just to sort of sit me into it, really get me to drive the knees out, is I'll use some sort of object. So in this case we're using the kettlebell, but you can use anything really just to sort of allow you to shift that weight forwards a little bit and open up into them ankles and really open them hips up. Okay, that's optional though again, guys. Alternatively for the squat, if you don't have anything like this, you could use something to hold on to. So again, you can sit in that bottom position and you can sort of lean yourself forwards, lean yourself side to side, just have a little bit of motion through it. Okay, so beginning with our PSOAS stretch, what we're going to do is we're going to sit nice and tall. Okay, from here one leg's going to come forwards. Okay, and we're looking for a nice right angle. Okay, from the foot to the knee, and then for the back leg as well. From here we're going to try and create a nice posterior pelvic tilt. So let me show you this side first, you can really see that. So from here, posterior pelvic tilt. So drawing that pelvis under. Okay, then I'm really squeezing the glutes. And already there, without even leaning forwards, you might find that you feel a nice stretch through the hip flexors. Okay, from there, all we're going to do to target the PSOAS, which runs up a little bit higher, we're going to start to add a little side bend and then reach the arm over. Okay, maintain that posterior tilt and then bending over to the side. Once we're in position, we're just going to take 10 breaths. Every exhale, release that tension. On the inhale, slowly release. Okay, now I'm going to come to the front. So again, posterior pelvic tilt, really squeezing the glutes. From there, you should probably already feel a good hip flexor stretch. And then we'll work into that PSOAS by adding that side bend over the top. And then we go into our 10 breaths. Release. Okay, second exercise is going to be our squat. So again, guys, feel free to use any sort of support for the ankles, for the heels rather. From here, we're standing about shoulder width. Okay. Again, feet turned out to the point where you feel optimal. So for some of you, if you've got quite retroverted hips, that may be past 5-10 degrees. Some of you, if you're quite antroverted, that might be completely neutral, feet forwards. But for most people, it's going to be about 5-10 degrees. Okay, but again, if that doesn't feel right, it feels like it's very uncomfortable in the hips, then yeah, it may be worth looking into something like the Craig's test, and checking out your hip rotation to see where your hip lies. So scrunch the feet into the floor, keep the torso nice and upright, and then from here, I'm just gonna let my elbows on the inside of my knees, just push the knees out, try and keep that torso nice and upright. Around about 60 seconds here. Okay, and you'll see if I put the weight down, how much I shift back. Okay, so it's really hard for me to really drive the knees forwards with tight ankles, especially after a day of hill sprints. Okay, and when I pick the weight up, I can sit a lot more upright. Okay, and ultimately that's great, but that means I want to be working on my ankle mobility. Okay, to be able to sit in it very comfortably without any counterbalance. Okay, that'll do. Stand yourself up, shake it off. Okay, the final movement is going to be our hang. Nice and easy. Okay, so obviously, again guys, if you don't have a door frame pull-up bar, I would suggest getting one. I don't think they're too expensive. I know a lot of fitness equipment's gone up, but I don't think they're too expensive. As long as you've got a decent lisp on your door frame, you can just hang it over there. Works a treat. Okay, any grip you desire. From there, we'll hold it for about a minute. Relax into the shoulders. Only grip as hard as you need to, guys. Don't really try and force into it, just try and relax into position today. Okay, that'll do. So feel free to, with that one guys, as well, just to stick your feet on the floor. If you're in front, if they're behind you, I don't want you to be holding too much tension in it. Okay, so if it means that you're having to really contract your hamstrings in order to keep your feet off the floor, then I'd prefer you just to let your feet go on the floor, to be honest, and just to be able to relax and have a good time with it. Not that we're not having a good time when we're working hard. If we're having a better time, maybe, I don't know. But yeah. Okay guys, back into PSOAS stretch first. So posterior pelvic tilt. Squeeze the glutes. And then we reach over and we take 10 breaths once we're in position. Feel free to have a little move around, lean a bit further forwards and just find the nice lines of tension. Okay, we should be feeling it right through the hip and up into the, just beneath the belly button on this one. And obviously getting a nice stretch through the sides as well, QL, obliques, probably into the lats a little bit. Imagine someone's got a rope and they're pulling you over, pulling you over, pulling you over. And release, swap sides. Posterior pelvic tilt. Squeeze the glutes. And then we reach over. Again, imagine someone's got a rope and it's just pulling you along, pulling you over, pulling you over, pulling you towards the point at which the ceiling goes from horizontal to vertical. Pulling you there, pulling you there. point at which the ceiling goes from horizontal to vertical. I guess the point between the ceiling and the wall. 10 breaths through the nose. Good stuff. Okay, coming into our squat now. Nice and upright. You can't see me there. Feel free to have a little move around, rocking onto one foot. Maybe a little hinge over. Ten more seconds. Okay, back into our hang. Have about a minute. Again, relaxing through the shoulders. The only gripping us has we need to hold on. Really letting them elbows straighten. Ten more seconds. Okay, final set, guys. Back into our PSOAS stretch. Posterior pelvic tilt, sitting nice and tall, squeezing the bum, and then reaching that arm across. 10 breaths. Every exhale, so you can reach a little bit further. And swapping sides the last time. So really again, posterior pelvic tilt. Think about pulling that knee forwards. And then we squeeze the glute. And then we reach. If you feel quite unstable in this position, guys, as well, you can just slide that foot along. That's absolutely fine. Okay. So you can just bring it out to the side more, give yourself a little bit wider base support. Okay, into the squat. I'm about 1 minute. Really trying to push them knees out. Go back a little bit so you can see me. I have to move the camera down actually. Notice the feet are nice and stable. Okay, not rolling into the inside of the foot. Knees are pushed out. Torso nice and upright. And especially if you're holding load, guys, try and keep your back nice and straight as well. Okay, if you're not holding any load, doesn't necessarily need to be that way, but just bear in mind that if you are going to load a squat, you want to try and keep it neutral. If you're going to put a lot of force through it as well, if you do like single leg squats, try and keep it neutral as best you can, because it'll be nice and braced, or it'll be easier to brace it there. Yeah, but in the case of just relaxing into it, it's okay if you have a little bit of flexion through your spine. If I go into this position with no load, I have to flex to stay in the position to keep myself lean forwards enough. Whereas when I take the load, that counterbalances me forwards, I can get a bit more upright. As we stand up, push the knees out, keep the torso upright. Finishing with a hang, guys. One minute here to finish. Thirty more seconds. Last 15. Five, 4, 3, 2. You might find that grip strength can actually be quite a good marker of where you're at in terms of fatigue as well. And so today I'm pretty fatigued, to be honest. I've had quite a big week of training. So yeah, my forearms feel pretty fatigued. Hanging on is not so easy. You know, usually I'd be able to sort of think, can hang for maybe 2.5 minutes or something like that. But you know, if I tried to do that, you know, with my feet off the floor, I'd really struggle. 1 minute's like, yeah, that's enough. Okay, so it can be quite a good measure of your fatigue hanging, along with some other tests as well, sort of test what your sort of central nervous system is like in terms of fatigue as well. But yeah, certainly hanging, I find that can be quite a good measure. If you sort of come on the line, you're feeling a bit, and maybe it is a day where you just want to take it a bit more steady like we have today. Okay, so just remember that with training, it's not all about going balls to wall all the time. Okay, not that necessarily the sessions we've been doing here have been super hard, but just bear in mind that, you know, recovery is where we build and where we grow and where we adapt. Okay, the training is where we break ourselves down, and not only on a physiological level but also on a psychological level as well, whereas the recovery is where we grow and we adapt and we get stronger and we prepare ourselves for more training. Okay, so just remember sometimes that having a nice easy session like this, you know, I think it is good to do some movement every day, but sometimes it just needs to be nice and easy, nice and simple, just like we've done today. Okay, it's not all about smashing it all the time. You'll probably find pretty quick that you will burn out that way, especially if you've got other stresses in your life as well, you know, the responsibilities and commitments. Not all fortunate enough to be able to train all day every day for money or something. But yeah, so just don't forget, guys, sometimes take it easy. That might be exactly what your body needs, just a nice chill session. Okay, I'd also encourage you guys today, if you can, to get out for a nice walk, get some fresh air, and enjoy yourself. Thank you very much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.